Okay, I'm going to go over the high-level usage on the 4310. This will cover pretty much everything you need to know when you first get on the machine. I also would suggest that you get a good owner's manual for one of these if you really want to learn how to operate the machine from start to finish, but this will give you at least a good starting point. The first thing you're going to want to get familiar with is the way the seat works on these, and the seat is fully adjustable on the 4310. It's got the softener, and this is a softener knob. So what you can do is you can take that knob and you can turn it left or right, and what it will do is it'll be stronger or weaker. So when you sit on it, it'll actually compress down or not compress down based on your weight. So you want to adjust that. This lever here is the slide lever. This will slide it forward. It lets you slide it forward and backwards. There's a seat belt on the side typically. That's used, obviously if you want to put the seat belt on and you're worried about bouncing around, you put that on. This is the drawbar up and down lever. So this will raise and lower the drawbar. However, keep in mind if there's a backhoe on yours, that's disabled and bypassed with the backhoe hydraulics being connected. So when you move this and the backhoe is on, the drawbar is not going to go up and down. The only time that would happen is if you take the hydraulic hoses off the backhoe or disconnect them from the backhoe and you connect in the bypass hose, and that is key. So if you're going to take the backhoe off, make sure you put the bypass hose in. The bypass hose will actually run the drawbar hydraulics, allowing you to go up and down in the drawbar. You got the joystick for the loader, and it floats just like any other loader will. So obviously curl the bucket left, open the bucket right, down is push down, pull up is push up on the loader, and then click it down all the way. Show you that again so you know. Click it down all the way and it stays down. That's float, right? So when you're gonna backgrade, if you have topsoil and you take a bucket, you're gonna tilt your bucket up just a little bit, or sorry, tilt it down just a little bit, maybe like 15 degrees, and you're gonna float that bucket in reverse, and that's gonna give you a nice smooth, backwards float on the bucket, and it'll make your topsoil, obviously, or your dirt nice and smooth. So that's how that works. There is a lockout for transport on the loader, which nobody ever uses, but it's there. So if you need it to lock out the loader arm, and when you're transporting it, you don't want the loader to move, you can put that on. This is your differential lock. If you stand on this when you have the machine and say you're spinning on one side in the back, it'll lock both back wheels. So you have differential lock, both wheels will spin. This is your drawbar lower speed. So when you have a light attachment on your 3-point hitch and your drawbar is up and it's not going down fast enough, you can back this off counterclockwise, or you can turn it clockwise, and it's gonna reduce the speed. Vice versa on that. Don't quote me on that. There's a plus and a minus. I believe if you go left, it goes down quicker, or it goes down slower. I don't know, but you have to play with this when you have the drawbar set up and it's up and it's not going down fast, or it's going down too fast because your attachment's heavy. You can play with this speed adjustment for the drop speed. The other thing is the throttle. This is your dynamic throttle, I would call that. This is your static throttle. So if you're not going anywhere and you want to run the backhoe, you can put the static throttle up and it stays. If you're going to drive and you want to run the gas pedal like a car, you're going to use this one on the bottom. You can leave this one down. You got your brakes, left and right. They lock into position. They lock into place with each other with this little adjuster. You can flip it up, unlock them. And the whole concept with that is you can turn the wheel and you can hit the side of the brake where you want to turn fast on, and it will spin you around. It's kind of like a zero turn type style when you have a zero turn lawnmower. One wheel stationary, one wheel drives, right? So typically everyone just keeps those locked because when you're on a machine like this, you're already kind of uneasy about turning, never mind trying to turn so fast where you're not sure how, where it's gonna go. So I would recommend just keep it locked, drive it like a regular machine. But if you wanted to, you could do one brake at a time and turn the machine obviously a lot quicker left or right. The other things, light switch, hazards, headlights, high and low beam. Your steering wheel adjuster, the best way to adjust this is take it with one hand and just go up or down, right? Pull it out, tilt it back, and then once you want it, it'll click right down. So that's how you would adjust that. On the console on the right, you got the 4-wheel drive. That's the left, that's the button always to the left, it's the 4-wheel drive. This is I believe the motion match This just lets the machine come to a stop either quickly or come to a stop slowly. If you have it off, I believe it comes to a stop quickly, and I believe if you have it on, it comes to a stop slowly, or vice versa. You can kind of play with that and kind of understand that better from the owner's manual. I leave it on, I leave it off, and I leave four-wheel drive off always. And this is the PTO engagement. You pull that up, that turns the switch, that engages the PTO switch. And when you do that, you should see your PTO light pop up on the dashboard, which is over here on the left. So lights on the dash, you got PTO all the way on the bottom is the light for that. This is your, I believe it's your cruise control, which is not set up on these, on this particular machine. It's an option, so that would never come on. You have your, it's a glow plug light, which is the next one on the bottom. If the machine, if it's cold out and you want to use the glow plugs, you would literally turn the key and you would push that key in. You see that light come on? You're pushing this key in. That will trigger your glow plugs, and that'll provide heat before you start it. Usually 10 seconds, and then turn the key and it'll start in any temperature. Honestly, with the John Deere Yanmar or the Yanmar motors, you don't need the glow plugs because they start in the coldest of weather, and there's usually not an issue. Battery light on the bottom if the battery is weak. When the parking brake's on, that's the parking light, and that's temperature light, or no, that's the oil light on the engine. So if the oil sensor is going off, that's what that is. So that takes you through the lighting on the dash, fuel gauge on the left, RPMs, and hour meter in the center, and then you have your temperature on the right, okay? That one on the lower right, I'm pretty sure it's oil. That could be temperature. I'm pretty sure it's oil because the temperature gauge is up here. So yeah, never mind. That's the oil on the right bottom. All right, that's the overall kind of like high level from this side. There's also a spinner. Spinner is nice for turning the wheel as fast as you can, obviously. And I'm gonna go to the backhoe to show you how to use that. Backhoe stabilizers are here. This is a John Deere controls, obviously. So this is going to be the main up and down. This is the boom in and out and the bucket curl, and that's left and right on the main on this lever over here. Seats usually can tilt up pretty easily, so if you have to get to the hydraulic oil, this is where you would fill hydraulic oil right here. And there's a sight glass. If you go directly underneath this on the back of the machine, about 2 feet down, there's a little clear sight glass, and that's going to be where your oil level is. You want to keep the hydraulic oil with the machine off right in the middle of that sight glass. It's important you don't go over, because you can't tell if you're over by, half a quart or 3 gallons, right? Which would be way too much. So that's how that is. That's the fill, and the sight glass is underneath that. There's going to be a bypass hose on this. Like I said, always when you disconnect the hydraulics from the backhoe, connect the bypass hose. That allows the relief of the hydraulic pressure in the system, right? If you didn't do that and you started the machine, you'll hear it, and it'll make you turn the machine off quickly because it'll sound bad. It'll be too much pressure in there. You can damage your pump, right? You don't want to do that. So always connect the bypass hose before you start the machine. Again, when you take this backhoe off, what you're going to want to do, I have a separate video. I'm not going to cover that here, but I have a separate video how to do all that. But anyways, when you go to take this backhoe off, there should be a bypass hose on your machine or some kind of a mechanism to allow you to connect it. Just look for that before you do anything with the backhoe. And then if you watch the backhoe video, it'll show you how to actually do all the setup and the driving away and all that stuff, which you need to know. There's transport pins on these. This one here is to the left, to the right, so it's not in, but it goes here, and it's right here. So this is the transport pin that would go there normally if it was straight. Transport pins, always put them back in the holder because you'll lose them. The first thing you're going to lose is the pin, and they're not cheap. There's another pin over here for the holding up of the backhoe for transport. On the other side, there's a little ring. You can slide this out. That goes over here when you're not using it. That is pretty much it on this side. If you're going to take off the bucket, these are the pins. You're going to pull these up, and you're going to just pull them up. When you take buckets off like this, quick connect, the trick to getting the pressure off the pin is lift the loader up, tilt it back as far as it will go towards the machine in full load position, and that takes the weight off the pin, right? Don't tilt it down, tilt it all the way up, and that takes the load off the lower pins. All right, now on this side, got the clutch. This is the e-power reverser. You got the clutch over here. You've got the reverser, which is either forward, reverse, and you've got the blinkers, hazards over here, and you have the shifter mechanisms over here. You got A, B, and C, and each one is a different range. So if you're gonna go, I believe C is the fastest and A is the slowest, but don't quote me on that. But those are the ranges, how you would change. Always come to a stop when you change range. You don't want to be moving, so even though you can do things on the fly with the e-power reverser, just stop when you go into a different range. And then this is how you would change gears. First gear, second gear, third and fourth. That's how you would change gears. Okay, that is pretty much it from a high level usage. Hopefully this is helpful, and if you have any questions, just please reach out.